A few months ago we found out this was going to happen, but only as of yesterday has it finally gone through. ZeniMax Media has been acquired by Microsoft and therefore Bethesda Softworks is now a part of Xbox, with the acquisition only costing $7.5 billion. The perfect opportunity for Microsoft to get their grubby paws on some tasty exclusives, and for Bethesda to hopefully turn over a new leaf. Maybe with the support and resources of Xbox, Bethesda can earn back the reputation that they pissed away like Peroni on a night out in Bolton, something I'm sure Microsoft could do with as well. But we're not necessarily here to talk about that. What we're interested in are exclusive titles. When you bring this topic up, two parties tend to crawl out of the woodwork: people who love exclusive titles and people who simply don't own a PlayStation. There may be an aspect of subjectivity here, but I feel that out of Microsoft and Sony has done a much better job of releasing exclusives that make me want to purchase their console. So I think it's fair to say that Microsoft needed to make some big moves to make a change, and acquiring ZeniMax Media and by extension Bethesda Softworks and Bethesda Game Studios is exactly that, especially for $7.5 billion. So the question asked is, will Bethesda games going forward be first-party exclusives? Well, if this statement released by Phil Spencer, the head of Xbox, is anything to go by, I don't think we'll need to worry too much about existing IPs becoming exclusives. That's just my thought process, but I'll explain that afterwards. Part of the statement goes, this is the next step in building an industry-leading first-party studios team, a commitment we have to our Xbox community. With the addition of the Bethesda creative teams, gamers should know that Xbox consoles, PC, and Game Pass will be the best place to experience new Bethesda games, including some new titles in the future that will be exclusive to Xbox and PC players. Okay, so not every single Bethesda game going forward is going to necessarily be exclusive to these platforms. My best guess as to what those games would be existing IPs like The Elder Scrolls, like Fallout, like Wolfenstein or Doom, and upcoming titles like Deathloop, which is actually going to be a timed exclusive for the PlayStation, which isn't a great start. I could of course be wrong in this assessment, but I feel like Xbox sees themselves as too much of a team player on the side of the gamers to ruthlessly rip these titles away from their competition, which I suppose they could do now, couldn't they?
Thank you, kind sir.
For most Bethesda Game Studios fans specifically, I feel like most of this debate might not be relevant considering their target audience tends to be mainly PC players anyway. They love releasing half-finished games and the modders finish it for them, and on top of this, the save files on consoles would bloat to the point where the game became unplayable anyway, which is likely an issue present across several Bethesda Game Studios titles because they never fix them. Sure, not everyone's going to experience that, but it's a huge incentive to play these games on PC instead. That is, I mean, if you're not seduced by the modding scene on PC. I know Bethesda has introduced modding to some extent to console as well, but it's nowhere near as intricate, limitless, and in-depth, as well as mechanically altering as some of the stuff you may find on PC. Seriously, some of the mods I've seen online for Skyrim are amazing, but at the same time, I'm certain there are some out there that are almost questionable enough to get you apprehended by the authorities. Listen, I know a guy, and he's into some really clapped shit. I feel at times modding has done more for Bethesda Game Studios titles than Bethesda Game Studios themselves. I'm certain this guy would disagree, but let's be honest, he's 12. So I suppose it wouldn't be too much of a loss for PlayStation players, but I'd imagine The Elder Scrolls 6 will release on the PlayStation 5, or the PlayStation 6 or 7, or whenever that game comes out. Let's face it, we'll all be dead. But of course, Bethesda Softworks consists of much more than just Bethesda Game Studios. You've got id Software, ZeniMax Online Studios, Arcane, Machine Games, Tango Gameworks, AlphaDog, and Roundhouse Studios as well. So there are plenty of studios there that could be whipping up Microsoft exclusive titles that will only release on the Xbox and PC. Obviously, exclusives are on the table, we know that's confirmed. Maybe that could mean Machine Games' upcoming Indiana Jones game could be exclusive to Microsoft platforms, though Lucasfilm and Disney may not be so happy about that idea. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Regardless, I'd imagine there'd need to be some form of Microsoft exclusive at some point, otherwise I don't really see the point in acquiring the company, considering $7.5 billion is a humongous long-term investment. I think they're going to try to avoid backlash by making known IPs and already announced games non-exclusive, such as Starfield or The Elder Scrolls 6, which is probably about as real as Bigfoot. I mean, we all know this trailer was just intended to downplay Fallout 76 because they knew it was going to suck, and I reckon humanity will set foot on Mars before this game is in a state where we can get a real trailer, but that's besides the point. I'm not necessarily worried about the future of Bethesda games. I don't play that many really, and those that I do I tend to pick up on PC. I wouldn't necessarily call Bethesda Softworks consistent, so I don't reckon this is going to be a game changer for Microsoft. Congratulations on picking up loads of studios under Xbox, but you've actually got to make games now. I think nothing short of a complete revamp of Xbox's first-party exclusive library is required here. I'm talking new IPs and a wide variety of games to captivate players. Last generation, I feel like Xbox missed out on this big time. I'm sure Microsoft can afford to keep trying no matter how many times they don't necessarily succeed. But as a business, will they necessarily want to do that forever? Surely not. Perhaps this is the beginning of a turning point for Microsoft in the future. Maybe this is the beginning of a turning point for Bethesda. Phil Spencer has stated that it's vitally important that Bethesda continues making games the way it always has. Hopefully at the very least Bethesda's new home at Xbox gives them a little bit of an incentive to not grow complacent. Surely we can all think of times in recent history where this has seemed to be a problem for the company. I don't know what to expect. I won't say I'm expecting anything. I'm sure time will give us a better idea than speculation can, so we'll leave it there. And while recording this video, I have eaten an entire tube of Polo Mints. This is becoming a problem. Thank you all for watching this ramble. I hope you've enjoyed. Be sure to go ahead and leave a like, subscribe, share the channel with your friends and all that wonderful stuff. That would be super fantastic. And of course, be sure to let me know what you think down in the comment section. Sorry for posting a little less than usual of late. It's come to a bit of a point in the year where there's not really much going on at all, and on top of that, my motivation at times can be through the floorboards. So I'm just taking it easy rather than burning myself fully out. Hopefully my future video quality will reflect this being the correct decision. Anyway, I'll be seeing you all very soon with another video at some point, but until next time, take care and goodbye.